podcast that is spreading positivity around the world by sharing inspiring life experiences. With me today is Monica Marlatt, a Toronto based puzzle community builder and content creator whose unexpected journey after retirement has led her to build a community of over 18,000 followers. After raising three children and becoming an empty nester, Monica found herself asking a very important question: what comes next? What started as a simple hobby has opened the door to creativity, technology, travel, new friendships, and an entirely new chapter of life. Today, we are talking about retirement, finding purpose, reinventing ourselves, and discovering that life can still surprise you at any age. So grab your warm drinks, get comfortable, and let's kick the ball rolling. Great.
Hello, thank you for having me. What a nice introduction.
Yes, it's lovely to have you here, Monica. And I know we are going to be learning a lot from you. Now, when I think of retirement, I know we are talking about old age, but I'm also looking at it from the point where we can be retiring from anything. Can be retiring from a relationship, from a job. In your case, you can be retiring from taking care of children. It could be anything at all that we are retiring from, and then we do not know what is next for us. So what I'd said earlier on in some of my introductory video on the platform just before the interview is to tell people you may not know what is next for you as you are retiring from whatever phase it may be, but there's a lot to learn from you today, and I'm excited we are having this interview today. Let's go right into the story. Let's go back to the beginning. After raising three children and eventually retiring, what was that transition like for you emotionally? What did those first few months of this new chapter feel like?
It was at first you're euphoric because everyone tells you wait till retirement, you're gonna love it. And sorry, I should clarify. I was a stay-at-home mom. My husband had a business, and I would help him with the business. So I was a stay-at-home mom. And when the kids left is when it really hit me. I thought it would be fun, but a lot of my friends, well, most of my friends were still working. Retirement is not necessarily about old age. It's just like the point that you're making. It's a new chapter. You're stopping something and doing something else. And I was stopping looking after my children. They moved out. My husband was still working. And here I was by myself. And, there's only so many books you can read and going out to a cafe by yourself. And then all of a sudden you're like, I don't like this. Like I'm feeling blue. I'm sad. I miss my old life. What am I going to do? And that's the short story. Okay. No one prepares you for that. You always talk about how great it is, but if no one's there with you, how do you feel that time? So I really had to think about things I liked to do by myself before I had children. And exercising, swimming, yeah, still like that. And then I thought, I used to like to puzzle. So I started to puzzle. And I still liked it. And I was like, this is great. I'm going to puzzle. And I would finish a puzzle, quite proud of myself, and I'd send it to my children. I have three. And for the first week or so, they were all very nice. And they go, oh, Mom, good for you. Rah, rah, keep going. And then after about a week or so, in a kind, worded email, they said, Mom, we have full-time jobs. We have careers. We have partners. We cannot clap every time you do a puzzle. And I was like, oh, okay, what should I do? And they said, put it on Instagram. What is Instagram? What was that, 8 years ago, 9 years ago? I didn't know what Instagram was. So no one lives nearby. It's not as if you can call your child or a friend, and you have to figure it out by yourself because they're not nearby, and they'll only help you a little bit. So you have to figure it out. So I opened up an account and I posted, and I did like that. Mind you, after building a puzzle, they're so pretty. It hurt me to put them back in the box. There has to be another way to be creative and showcase them. So I started to do videos. I started to do stop motion videos. I really enjoyed, again, learning how to do a stop motion video. It was just fun. And then I got a lot of likes and shares. And I was like, I'm going to continue doing this. And then shortly after that, we had the pandemic. And the puzzle world changed during the pandemic because people puzzled. They puzzled a lot. And because I had a good core group of people following, when new people came on board, they started to follow me. Puzzle brands, a lot of people lost their jobs and they had to pivot. How can I make a living during the pandemic? So puzzles were trending. So they took their little nest egg and they made some puzzles. There would be an artist or somebody thought, this is what I'm going to do. Very smart move. But how do you get your puzzle on the puzzle shelf? Because stores were closed. We couldn't go into stores. So puzzle brands, new puzzle brands and old puzzle brands, would reach out to somebody like myself that had a good core base of puzzles and wrote positive things, nice things, or just did creative, fun things with a puzzle, and started sending me puzzles. And I really thought it was a lark. I was like, you're sending them to me? Really? I'm an influencer. Look at me. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Okay, but that's how it happened. And if anything, after the pandemic, I got much bigger, and I still love puzzling. In the last 3 years, my husband has finally retired, and he sort of was shell shocked as well. And goes, "Wow, like what do we do with all our time?" And I go, "Help me." And he's like, "Yeah, you're doing some fun things." So our relationship has blossomed. We build a puzzle, we look around and we're like, well, what can we do with it? If you were a puzzle influencer, we both get the same puzzles. You take pictures, I take the same pictures. What's the difference of somebody following each of us looking at both of them? Whoever posts first gets the like, okay? And I was like, I have to do something different with my puzzles. So I live in a big city, I'm in Toronto, and we go on daily walks. I live downtown. There's tons of places to take your puzzles. And we take a picture with a nice backdrop if it's a nice garden, art installation, and we'll see something pretty. We go, oh, that's a nice place to take a puzzle. And we do beautiful walks together. We'll build a puzzle together, sometimes independently, but we actually spend so much time together, nice quality time together. And then when I do a deconstruction, he's very helpful. At the end of the day, when we build a puzzle, we have a nice glass of wine together. Like, I've been reconnected to my partner. Again, when we were raising our kids, he worked. I looked after the kids. Yes, you have dinner together, but you work independently. At some point, maybe we can call ourselves roommates. All right. I looked after the kids. He did everything else. So now we're actually a couple again, and we're doing lots and lots of things together. As for my 3 children, they can't believe it. They're like, we are so proud of you. We really thought we had to worry about you. What are you going to do now? Because they were so much of my time.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
they're just like, wow, if you don't post every day, that's when we worry about you.
Yeah.
Like, oh, that's a win-win. But as I'm getting older, I know I'm learning new things. I go out of my way to learn new trends. I watch other people, what they're doing. I think about it, I go, oh, I could do something like that, funny with a video. My husband and I get to be silly together. It's great. Um, it's blossomed a little bit bigger than what I've just said. I have a contract with Royal Caribbean. So because I work with so many puzzle brands, I get puzzles sent to me and I take them on long cruises, like it's usually the transatlantic or repositioning cruises. And on sea days, I bring about 200 puzzles. Guests come in and I put all my puzzles out, talk to them, because the worst thing that could happen puzzling is you get a puzzle and you get frustrated. You're probably not going to puzzle again. So I really want to make sure I connect them with a puzzle that they'll complete and feel happy with. They come back the next day. Maybe that was too hard. I give them an easier one. Maybe it was too easy. I give them a harder one. And for like 10 days, we puzzle. And it's just been so fun.
Great. Let's unpack the story. And there's a lot that's been said
There
in
is.
that. First of all, you've just told us in your narration that age is just a number.
Mhm.
So I want you to tell us how that makes you feel, especially in this internet age, and knowing that internet was not something that was very common at your age, and having to learn a number of things to catch up. just to let everybody know that age is just a number. So it should become a barrier depending on wherever you are. I always tell, I work with women. So I have a charitable organization, a side podcast with Sheila, that's called Skilled Hands Organization, that empowers women. And some of the women who come to my workshops, I tell them, you have to get yourself on social media. And then they'll say, I don't want to be there, I don't want to show my face. I said, you don't have to show your face. It
Nope.
can just be it's a faceless channel, just be your hands doing something, be your voice doing something over some AI picture or something, but you need a presence on social media. And that is the age, that is where we are at. How easy or difficult was it for you to learn all these skills, to be able to put a video together? You're talking about stop motion. I've tried stop motion before. I enjoyed it. But as you talked about it, I just remembered, oh, I've only tried it once and I've not done it again. So you've learned stop motion and it's not an easy one to do. You've been
No,
able
you're
to do
back.
it.
Oof.
Yeah, yeah. You've been able to do it and you've grown out of it. My questions are a lot. The first one is, how has the journey been for you? How difficult, how easy has it been? What has the learning curve been for you on this journey?
All right, few questions there. So if I forget, like
Yeah,
just refresh.
yeah,
Um, Learning social media is very important, and I'm going to tell you why I feel it's important with my relationship with my children and the younger generation to be relevant.
yeah.
Okay, as we get older, I never thought. It's not that my children dismiss me. You know, they call me every day. They're lovely. So proud of them, but I'm relatable. All right, I have something to say now. I'm on social media. Often they tell me, "Mom, you know more about social media than we do." Like our society now is hooked on the phone. I'm always trying to pick up trends. I, it's crazy. Is it a music trend? Is it a dancing trend? What is it? But in some place and time, I know I always have something to contribute now in a conversation because of this. Like we go, my husband and I, we go once a week, we do trivia. Well, we are always the oldest people there. We just are. And the questions are never relevant to my age group anymore. It's all young things. But because I'm on social media and I see things, oh, I know some answers. I surprise myself. So it's it's important to be relevant. Don't be obscure. I have noticed on our cruises, again, I mentioned they were repositioning. So most of the age group is older. Okay, you won't have a young family because it's a 2 3 week cruise. You know, they
Mhm.
can't get out of school. You won't have a lot of young couples. There are always these exceptions, but in general, it is an older group. And you would think I would have even more of a following because of my cruises and all the people that I connect with. And I connect with thousands of people on the cruise ship. They don't do social media.
Yeah.
Okay, they are lucky to know how to use FaceTime and call, their grandchildren, and they're just not on it. They poo poo it in every shape and form. And I'm like, yeah, but you want to be connected with everybody, you have to get on. And it's not just with your family, it's about current events. Like you want to follow the news or trends, what's going on, like what's popular, even going to a restaurant or something. It's on social media where you're going to find that. So I try gently to just say to my new friends that I meet on a cruise, I go, you know what? It's something that you should invest some time. Well, I don't know how to do it. I go to a library. They always have workshops. Like, take some time and just like even go on YouTube. We love YouTube.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, they have tutorials about everything. Oh, you asked the question about learning things. It is hard, when you do these dance trends or the voiceovers, the lip syncing. Like, it's funny, it's cute. Yes, I do it. I'm not very good at it, but I most certainly try. When I go back and I look at my wall and I see, oh, what was that video? Oh, that did very well. And I look at it, I'm going to tell you right now, I don't remember how I did it. I do not remember how I did it. I would have to take the tutorials again. And tutorials, they go very fast. I usually have to record it, go stop, start at least a dozen times for me to figure out what it is. I'm not fast, but I am retired and I have the time to figure it out.
Wow. The loudest message you're sending here, as you speak, is that age is still not a barrier at any point in your life. And it's up to you whether you're determined to be able to do something about wherever you are currently, or you want to just sit down and say, oh, I've come to the end of life for me. There's nothing left for me to do. That is all I have to offer.
No,
No. Yeah.
no,
Yeah.
no.
Because Mhm.
We get sort of pigeonholed in little categories. Oh, okay. You say you work in an environment with a lot of men. Uh, it's like we can break free. Like there's a niche for every one of us. When I go somewhere and I go, oh, I'm an influencer, you should see the looks that I get. They're like, you,
Yeah.
you're an Insta on Instagram.
Yeah.
I'm not part of the pretty group. But there is a niche for everybody. What I do, I represent my age group, and I go, we're never too young to learn something. There are hobbies out there. It doesn't matter where you think you've been put in. You can break out of that, because there's always somebody that will resonate with what you do.
Exactly. Instagram is one of the most difficult social media pages to grow.
Oh,
As I'm on all of them, I find Instagram to be the most difficult. So for you to have broken through to have 80,000 followers, that is a massive achievement. And if you ask everywhere else, everybody will tell you Instagram is really, really difficult to grow in followers. So that's a massive thing you've done, and congratulations to you as well.
thank you.
Another thing I'd like to find out is, as mentioned, you touched on it a little bit, your relationship with your husband, as you said, now has become much better because the children are away from the house. You both have become empty nesters. So you have each other to support and bounce off ideas and all of that. Tell us how interesting this phase of your life is as married couples.
Um, it is. I can. We've been married what for 43 years now.
Wow.
I'm not the same girl he married, and he's not the guy that I married. Like we are very different. We have grown. We're very independent. Uh, it is a new relationship for us. Okay, and we we just get better at it. I'm not saying we're finished at all. Like as I'm trying to grow my account a little bit more, I go, oh, I'll have this idea. My husband, he's one of these guys that poo-poos the tech. He goes, oh, that's all on you. You do that. And I go, no, you need to learn this too. It's good for us. We'll have fun. And gradually he's trying. He actually has an Instagram account now. And I show him how to scroll. I go, this is what's trending. Look at this. Uh, I go, I don't know how to do that. So we're teaching each other new things, and I'm very fortunate that he is very open to new ideas. Like if when I say I take my puzzles out for a walk, we went. It was quite far. It was a guitar. It was a guitar puzzle, and we were walking one day, and I saw there was a guitar repair shop, and I went, "Oh, this would be really good to take that puzzle there." So we walk up the stairs. I talked to the gentleman. He was all on board. So I said, "I'm coming back next week with a puzzle." That was a big walk for us, and it was a hot day, and I knew my husband wasn't up for it, but he did it. He was a trooper. He's a hero. And he's always like, no, it's good to get out for a walk. It's like we're in a condo. It's very easy to sit inside all day, all day, and not go outside and out into the world. So these walks that we do, we're like, no, we have to push ourselves further and just do it. And it's nice to do it with somebody.
Yeah. Wow. A lot of people retire and suddenly feel that their sense of purpose has disappeared.
Mhm.
What would you say to somebody who is sitting at home wondering, what am I going to do with the rest of my life?
It's a good question, and you think about it more and more when you're here and in retirement. What are you going to do? Because your thoughts, you might be, oh, I'll help with the grandkids. Like, absolutely. Guess what? Mine are across the world. Okay, like my grandkids are they're in San Francisco. They're nowhere near me. And can I afford to go out there 5 times a year? No, I cannot. Do they come here? I have no space for them. So it's very different. You need to find something. Well, first of all, you need to be physical for your health. I would strongly suggest learning something new for your brain, because if you're just going to be dormant, that's the worst thing you can do. Like, learn an instrument, learn a language, learning something new, learn how to cook, learn new recipes. I'm learning a new language, I'm learning tech. um, it's very important to learn something, and in learning that you will find a community. So if you want to take up piano lessons, you will find piano people to talk with. This new hobby, this puzzling community that I'm in, is amazing. They're so supportive. When we travel, I go out of my way to meet a puzzle brand or meet a puzzle person that follows me and sit down and have a beer and chat with. We're constantly meeting new people. So finding a hobby, an activity, like what's huge? Pickleball. Like, there you have everything. You're learning something new, a new sport, you're being physical, and it is a huge, wonderful community. So for someone that is retired, find a hobby. I don't even care if you read. There are book clubs. Go to the library. You can join a book club. It doesn't have to be in your neighborhood. There is something there. You just have to figure out what interests you.
Exactly. I totally agree with you. Looking back at the woman who retired and didn't know what the next chapter would look like, what would you say to yourself today?
Sorry, the question again?
Looking back at the woman who retired and didn't know what the next chapter would look like, what would you say to yourself today?
Oh, well, I'm pretty proud of myself. I know I get up and I have fun. And I know when the kids left, I was blue. I was very sad. And I didn't want to burden my kids with, oh, God, I'm so depressed that you guys are gone. Because if you do it right, they do leave. Okay. And oh, if you do it right, they do leave. And they look after themselves. Like, you have to be happy that you did it right. You have to let them go. They shouldn't be living in your basement. I know their circumstances but if you do it right, they will leave and they will have their careers and find their own partner, and buy a house and all that. I am very happy for them, and I am really happy that I filled the gap. Like, there was a big gap. I wake up and I'm like, "Ooh, we're going to do a fun video today." And then when we do the video, some silly trending thing, I get to sit down and edit it. I have a lot of fun with editing it and trying to figure out, oh, what transition works, and then adding the music. I'm like, yeah, yeah, I'm happy with that. And when you post it, and then it goes nowhere. But it's always, sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. But it's, I'm just like, yeah, I keep myself very occupied, because now my friends are retiring and they're all there. What should we do? And I'm like, I'm busy.
Yeah.
I'm busy, girl.
Wow. You should be organizing classes for them, like workshops for them to learn how to some of these things. And I'm surprised that you do like dance challenge, you do lip syncing, you do
Yeah,
voiceovers. All of that is a lot of work because I do all of those, you see, and I know how time consuming that is.
it is.
And like you said, it's you put in a lot of work, you post it and it doesn't go anywhere. Sometimes the videos you've not worked too much on, those ones do better than the ones you spend hours and hours on work. I know the work that is involved.
Yeah,
And
like there's a trend for puzzling where you finish the puzzle and then you pick it up and go, "Woo! I
oh
picked it
no.
up." Because years ago, well, puzzles aren't meant to be picked up. But over the pandemic, because so many people were puzzling, they didn't want loose fitting puzzles. Okay, and so puzzle brands have listened. They've made a tighter fit so everyone picks it up, and something like that goes viral. And I'm like, jeepers, you know what? I just spent 3 hours on my knees doing this stop motion, and my back is killing me. I'm taking some Advil, and I just had a hot bath, and I get no views. And I'm just like, you know what? I had a great day. I'm happy with what I did. And if something simple like that, if that makes the pickup challenge makes the viewer happy, that's fine. You just have to get over it.
Wow. I think that social media teaches a lot of things. Was I thinking about it today or yesterday? I was thinking about it teaches perseverance
Yeah, yeah,
because you have to persevere. If only you want to be able to make it. It teaches perseverance, showing up every day, every time, showing up right, doing the right things, learn continuous learning. Because every time the algorithm is changing. So when you post and it's not reaching far, you're asking what changed? What did they do different? Because you realize that what was working for you weeks ago or month ago, now when you post in that format doesn't work anymore, then it tells you that it's changed. So there's new learning to do. So it's all of those things in there that you have to do and catch up with to be able to be there and relevant is the
yeah,
word. To be relevant and you'll be able to
yeah.
make, yeah. So it's a lot of things. And I'm so proud of you to be able to
Oh,
do it. Yeah, yeah. At this age, to be keeping up and as an influencer as you are is massive. That's why when you say you're an influencer, people say, like they're wondering if you are. And it's a massive thing you've been able to achieve for yourself. Well
well,
done.
it's funny because when we do go out, and again, I'll just refer to doing our trivia. The server will come, and if it comes up in the conversation, they just sort of look at me. I'm going to tell my mom that. She doesn't know what to do with herself, you know. And I'm like, you go tell your mom because there is something there. Like you can do cooking lessons, how you make your pasta or whatever. There's something for
Yeah,
everybody.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I remember years ago, my dad is late now. I think he's been late for over 5 years now. And years ago, about 15 years down the line, just when he was coming on retirement, and he said, I think it's more than 15, about 20 years ago, when he was coming on retirement, he said, "Oh, I know I'm coming on retirement to die." And I said, "Don't say that."
Mm.
Because at the back of his mind, I think he was thinking anybody who goes on retirement just because you don't get to do anything with yourself, you're not working, you're just sitting at one place. It's either you're reading the newspapers or just sat down in one place. And he felt that he would not be using his bones and all of that enough.
Yeah.
One
Well,
time he just came up and he said, "I want to do gardening." I said, "That's it. Do it." So he started doing gardening in front of our house. He's
oh, you froze. You froze, Sheila. Sheila, you're frozen. Oh, there you are. Hello again.
I'm here. I don't know what's happening today, but he was in lilies and it blossomed. In no time, we saw people park their cars to come and buy from him, and it became his his own niche posh
Yep.
business because people who deal with plants and all, they are posh people. Plants are expensive, especially back home in Ghana. Plants are expensive to buy. So if the person is not affluent, they cannot afford to. So he started meeting posh, rich people, having good conversations. And when they come to the garden to pet, they'll say, "This looks like heaven." And it actually did look like heaven. When you were
Why?
having a bad time, you go and sit in his garden, you know that you'll be leaving there feeling refreshed.
See, there's so many things that you can do there. It's just you just have to figure out what it is that you like to do.
Yeah. Wow. As we wrap up, finally, Monica, for someone watching us who feels that they are too old to start something new, too late to reinvent themselves, or that their most exciting years are behind them, what would you like them to hear from your story?
Don't believe that. It's not true. It's just not. I think, like, again, I'll go back to my kids. They're funny because they'll go to a party and they'll, like, I am the icebreaker. They go, "Do you know what my mom does?" and it's, and then when they meet me, they'll tell my kids, "Your mom's the coolest." And I'm like, "What? I'm cool like that?" There is, like, don't. I had those dark thoughts too. Really. Um, there are so many things, and I think, again, social media opens up those doors. If you're just in an isolated community, I understand that absolutely, but with social media there just is no reason. I have wonderful puzzle friends all over the world now, and like if Gibraltar in England, in France, it's just wonderful. They're same like me. We're all just trying to rediscover ourselves, or even they're younger people. It doesn't matter. We just have this passion for puzzles, the same passion. So just find that thing that you want to do. You just need to find that.
Yeah. Wow. Thank you very much for having some time with us today on podcast with Sheila and Monica.
Well, thank you for having me. I loved it.
Great. If you've been listening in, this is season 2, episode 146 of our podcast series, where we bring seasoned guests with inspiring life stories to share with us. Do not miss out on all these lovely experiences. Subscribe and be notified when a new episode is released. Whilst at it, please drop us a rating. We have an audio presentation of this show on our audio podcast landing site. Just search for Podcast with Sheila and you will find us. Until we meet again, remember, change begins with you. Have a brilliant day. Bye.
Bye.